Well, I like to invite Hassan Qlichkhani, Stage Executive Secretary, and also Avideh Jamili, the content coordinator of the whole event, who they want to talk about a very key point. It is about why this year Innotex is more narrative driven than data driven. And I believe this is what we've chosen as our road for today's or this exhibition this year. I'd like to say hi to everyone who's present. Please turn off the music. Well, I would like to say hi to everyone here and our dear viewers in the startup spheres and who have gathered here in Innotex. Who I am Hassan Qlichkhani, the organizer of this event, the stage organizer more specifically. We in the stage of Innotex have started from 4 o'clock and will be here until 6. And tomorrow that will change to 10 in the morning till 5. And the day after that also is the same. And on this stage we'll have speeches and panels from influential figures in the ecosystem we have in our country today, the startup ecosystem. But in this presentation, we're going to talk about why our approach has been changed from data-driven to narrative-driven this year in panels and presentations and everything. And let my dear friend introduce herself as well, and then we'll begin. Hi, I am very happy to be here with you. I am Alvin, the content coordinator for the stage this year. As my dear friend said, this year we're going to get away from data-driven content and move towards narrative-driven content and presentations this year. That has a variety of reasons, including getting new audiences with new perspectives and new stories, which has happened because of the ecosystem we have in startup spheres and last year's events. In our Instagram page, you can see panels and presentations these days that are taking place these days. Even if you look at the titles of the events and panels, you can see that they have changed and the approach has been different this year. We would like to present a short summary of what happened in 1404 and also the year before that, 1403. Well, the aims and the objective of this stage is to talk about what happened last year and in terms of short news. I know you've heard a lot over the news, and we've heard that the first generation of startups had a mass exodus of funders and big companies who have just entered the sphere of startups as well. And that was something that we really talked about this year. But us on Innotex stage, we want to convey those messages and stories in narrative form about the conditions that have made this happen, about other stuff, and also examine the different aspects of all things that have happened this year. Well, we talked about a bit of it, and I know you know more yourselves. Well, as you may know, a couple of startups in our country, the first generation of startups, had exodus of their founders. Those founders could, had, by some way, sell their stocks at the companies, and also some companies have entered the stock exchange markets. Uh, if you would like, go on and tell some of them. Uh, I want to explain a bit about narrative-driven storytelling and panels. We found that to examine what had happened before, we need something more than data. We need to extract a story and narrative from these data. These data are precise, but it is narratives and stories that have the power to influence and stay in our minds. We wanted to uh, examine a few things on stage this year that the ecosystem have been dealing with for years, but this year it may have been more. Uh, like we said, it was founders' exoduses and also reverse immigration that has been happening, and these are things that are going to examine on stage. This year, we've tried more to listen and be storytellers, and not just talk about data. That all shows what happened, but behind those numbers, there's always a story. This year, we're going to be narratives and storytellers, and we're going to listen more. And people who are coming here are going to tell their own stories from the roads that led to events. Uh, the story is going to take center stage on stage this year. People are going to tell their stories, and those are what we're going to focus on. Like our dear presenter also said, sometimes some people just need a quote from a famous person that would change their lives. And this year in Innotex, we're going to uh, be storytellers, and we need those stories, and we're gonna have those famous quotes happen here. So if you all agree, we have a few subjects that most panels are going to be taken around those subjects. So those are the six. One of them is immigration, reverse immigration even. People who have gone to other countries and gained experiences, maybe even saw a couple of companies and their own startups, and they've experienced all of these and have come back to the countries. They've been allocated resources to. Tomorrow morning we have a panel about this. One of the famous institutes that was active in attracting experts and allocating resources to them is coming back to Iran and getting more active. And these people who have come back were high-ranking officials and high-ranking officers in companies like Microsoft and others, successful in big companies. And the other panels are about the exoduses that we've been seeing. A lot of the first generation startups have had their founders exit or sell their company, so to speak, to different companies. An event that can be seen positively, but it has its own unique risks to those businesses, to those first generation businesses as well. And it could actually be seen as a shock throughout the whole company as well, and we'll talk about that as well. This afternoon we'll have a panel about uh, called From Idea to Establishment and From Idea to Product. It's about how these ideas and how ideas were emerging and the road they took to become a product. What was the road like? Uh, our mission is to, or our objectives are telling success stories and telling successful experience. And these successful people you're going to listen to may have had several failed attempts at startups and these kind of things. And we also have a panel about this, the tomorrow or the day after you fail. Is about failed experiences and failed startups and what to do after them. Another thing we have is innovation through art. That's another panel we'll have. That's another point that will be discussed throughout the panels you'll see, which will be discussed this year as well. A phenomena that might have been very attractive last year was the rise in fintech, financial tech startups like platforms to buy gold or and other financially capable or financial related apps, and also other apps that are in lend tech sector. Yes, fintech is also going to be very important this year in our panels. We'll have another speech about this. It's about whether if regulations were able to keep up with fintech or financial tech development or not. The international community is itself progressing in terms of technology, I mean. Uh, and also we're going to talk about digital transformation or and the private sectors and the government's effect on this. These are the six main topics we'll be covering on the stage. There are also subtopics to all of these that you can all see on our Instagram page if you follow it, and you'll know what panels we'll have in the future 2 days. And also there's an application for Innotex and this exhibition that you can all download on the website, Innotex's website. It's called On Time. And in Innotex Operat page, the videos of the panels and speeches will be also uploaded there as well. If you missed a few of these speeches, you can also go there and watch those as videos on Operat. Thank you all, and thank you for covering and the speeches that we're going to have and their topics are believed to be quite informative for everyone, for all different startups and the managers who are in the midst of our attendees, and it's going to be quite useful for those who are present here. And the next 2 days we'll have Hadi Sharifi's panel, who is an executive manager in Tapsi. We're waiting for him impatiently. Thank you all. Thank you for your patience and attention. Where are you going? Please, come on back. Well, we're not going to let any of our speakers just very volley out of here. Mr. Qlichkhani is one of the people. Please come on forward. Mr. Qlichkhani is one of those people who is quite capable in establishing businesses in different fields. And from what I've heard, in most of them he is quite successful, or has been quite successful. I need to ask you a question. This year's approach to the expo is centered around hearing success stories and sharing those to people who are only beginning the road to success. And I want to just ask, how much has this happened to you? How much have you heard of experiences of successful people or even their failures, and how much did that affect your success? Is this a question you're asking from both of us? Thank you very well. Well, today's this year's slogan in terms of our stage is connecting ideas, making new connections, and making new opportunities, which is interesting to me. And that's something that can only happen in events like this, to have or to open new roads for people, and or even get them new ideas or make them discover new opportunities. If I were to say my own answer in a short manner, I think it was in 97, 98. It was in Innotex. I was working here uh, as a volunteer. I was just getting into it. And from that point, from talking to and networking with like-minded individuals, and also people who are looking for entrepreneurship and opportunities like that, I made quite a lot of friends, and I got to make good connections with them. And that in itself actually made us have that famous team. We had CFDX Iran and later on CFDX Tehran. That team was mostly comprised of ex Innotex volunteers, and yeah, I like to just say that yeah, existing in events like this and going to places like this is quite beneficial and opens new doors and new opportunities for people and hearing ideas and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what happened to me. Very well done.